Our minds are vast, fertile grounds, capable of believing anything we repeatedly tell them. This understanding is not new. It is an ancient wisdom, a profound secret to shaping the very fabric of your existence. By learning how your inner world operates, you gain the keys to unlock your greatest potential and transform your reality. Lesson 1. Recognize your mind's unfiltered receptivity to inner dialogue. Your mind is an incredible receiver, an open field that absorbs every seed you plant within it, whether those seeds are planted consciously or unconsciously. When you repeatedly think, "I am clumsy," your brain doesn't debate it. It starts to look for evidence of your clumsiness, creating pathways that reinforce that belief. It might make you more prone to noticing your stumbles or interpreting benign events as proof. Conversely, if you repeatedly tell yourself, "I am capable," your brain shifts its focus, seeking out instances where you demonstrated capability, reinforcing a different self-perception. This mechanism is incredibly powerful because it shapes your internal chemistry. Thoughts trigger emotions, and emotions trigger physiological responses. A thought of fear can flood your system with stress hormones. A thought of gratitude can release calming chemicals. Your brain is a supercomputer, and your thoughts are the code you are constantly writing for it. This means that the quality of your life experience is intricately tied to the instructions you give your brain through your thoughts. It doesn't distinguish between what is true, in an objective sense, and what is simply a repetitive mental pattern. It takes your internal narrative as its operational manual. Therefore, even an irrational worry, if dwelled upon, becomes a directive to your brain to prepare for that scenario, activating stress responses that affect your physical and mental well-being. Recognizing this direct link empowers you to become more mindful of the instructions you're issuing. It means taking seriously the seemingly fleeting thoughts, understanding their cumulative impact. By consciously choosing thoughts that serve you, you are literally reprogramming your brain, guiding it to create a reality that supports your growth and well-being. It is a profound realization that grants you immense agency over your inner state and consequently, your outer experience. It does not judge, discriminate, or filter the quality of the thoughts it receives. When you engage in inner dialogue, whether it's a silent worry, a fleeting judgment, a quiet hope, or a persistent fear, your mind takes it all in without question. Imagine it as a loyal, diligent servant, ready to act on any instruction you provide, regardless of whether that instruction serves your highest good. This unfiltered receptivity means that negative self-talk, even if it feels like just a passing thought, is accepted as truth. Conversely, positive affirmations, spoken with conviction, are equally embraced. The challenge, then, lies not in changing the mind's nature, for its receptivity is a powerful gift, but in becoming deeply aware of what you are feeding it. Every time you think, "I can't do this," or "I'm not good enough," your mind simply logs it as an instruction, a fact about your being. It then begins to organize your perception and experience to align with that fact. This process happens continuously, shaping your emotions, your reactions, and your perception of the world around you. Becoming aware of this constant internal conversation is the first vital step. It's about catching yourself in the act of thinking, observing the quality of your inner voice without immediately trying to change it. Just notice. This simple act of observation creates a space, a small gap between the thought and your automatic reaction to it. This space is where true transformation begins. It empowers you to see that you are not merely a passive recipient of your thoughts, but an active participant in their creation. This understanding highlights the immense responsibility and power you hold over your own inner landscape. Lesson 2. Understand every thought is a direct instruction to your brain. Every single thought that crosses your mental landscape is received by your brain, not as a mere suggestion, but as a direct command, an instruction to organize your reality accordingly. Lesson 3. Consciously choose empowering narratives over limiting ones. With the understanding that your mind accepts all input as instructions, the crucial next step is to consciously intervene in the stories you tell yourself. For too long, many of us have unconsciously allowed old limiting narratives to dictate our potential. These might be stories like, "I'm not good enough," "I always fail," or "life is hard." However, when countless drops fall in the same spot over and over again, they begin to erode stone, shaping the landscape beneath. Similarly, repeated thoughts, whether positive or negative, gradually solidify into core personal beliefs. These beliefs are not just fleeting ideas. They become the fundamental operating principles of your life. They form the lens through which you perceive yourself, others, and the world around you. If you consistently think, "I am unlucky," over time, that thought transforms into a deeply held belief. This belief then colors your interpretations of events, leading you to notice misfortunes more readily and dismiss successes as mere anomalies. Your brain, having received this consistent instruction, begins to filter reality to confirm it. Conversely, if you repeatedly affirm, "I am resourceful and capable," this consistent input transforms into a core belief in your own abilities. This belief then empowers you to approach challenges with confidence, to seek solutions, and to see opportunities where others might see obstacles. These core beliefs act as powerful filters. They determine what information you pay attention to, what you ignore, and how you react to situations. They influence your actions, your choices, and ultimately, your destiny. Understanding this process reveals the incredible impact of your daily mental habits. It means that what you repeatedly think becomes what you deeply believe, and what you deeply believe manifests in your experience. The path of awakening emphasizes examining these underlying beliefs. Many of them were formed in childhood or through past experiences, often consciously. By bringing conscious awareness to the repetitive thought patterns, you can trace them back to their foundational beliefs. This awareness is crucial for true transformation, allowing you to identify beliefs that no longer serve you and consciously begin the process of replacing them with empowering truths. These are not objective truths. They are merely narratives crafted over time, perhaps by past experiences or external influences. Now, you have the power to write new ones. This means actively identifying those restrictive stories and making a deliberate choice to replace them with narratives that empower and uplift you. Instead of, "I can't do this," choose to tell yourself, "I am learning and growing, and I can overcome challenges." This isn't about ignoring difficulties. It's about reframing your relationship with them. It is about shifting from a victim mentality to one of agency and resilience. This conscious choice requires vigilance. Your old patterns of thought are deeply ingrained, like well-worn paths. It takes consistent effort to forge new ones. When a limiting thought arises, gently acknowledge it, but then consciously pivot. Ask yourself, what would an empowering thought be in this moment? Then, articulate that thought, even if it feels unfamiliar or slightly awkward at first. This practice is like strengthening a muscle. The more you choose empowering thoughts, the stronger those mental pathways become. It affects how you approach opportunities, how you respond to setbacks, and how you interact with others. By choosing narratives that highlight your strengths, your capacity for growth, and your inherent worth, you are not just thinking differently, you are actively shaping your character and your future. This intentional choice transforms your internal landscape, opening up possibilities that were previously obscured by self-imposed limitations. Lesson 4. See how repeated thoughts solidify into core personal beliefs. Think of your thoughts as drops of water. A single drop might seem insignificant. Lesson 5. Leverage mental repetition to rewire negative thought patterns. Once you grasp that repeated thoughts solidify into beliefs, you hold a powerful key to transformation: the deliberate use of mental repetition. This isn't about wishful thinking or denying reality. It's about actively rewiring the neural pathways in your brain that have been reinforced by old, unhelpful thought patterns. Just as negative thoughts created and strengthened limiting beliefs through repetition, positive, empowering thoughts can create and strengthen new, beneficial beliefs. They ripple outwards, actively shaping your external reality in profound ways. This is not some mystical concept, but a direct consequence of how your beliefs influence your perception, actions, and interactions. If your inner narrative consistently tells you that the world is a dangerous place, you will perceive more threats, react with more caution, and perhaps even inadvertently attract experiences that confirm your belief, simply by how you hold yourself or approach situations. Conversely, if your inner story is one of optimism, opportunity, and abundance, you will be more likely to notice positive possibilities, take calculated risks, and engage with the world in a way that invites favorable outcomes. Your internal narrative dictates your energy, your body language, and your unconscious signals to others. People respond to these subtle cues. If you carry an inner story of unworthiness, you might project a lack of confidence, making it harder to attract opportunities or build strong connections. If you radiate an inner story of capability and compassion, you naturally draw people and circumstances that resonate with that vibration. This means that the outer world often serves as a mirror, reflecting the dominant narratives you hold within. It's not that your thoughts magically conjure objects out of thin air, but rather that they direct your focus, motivate your actions, influence your resilience in the face of challenges, and shape how you interpret events. A perceived failure, for example, can either reinforce a narrative of inadequacy or become a valuable lesson in a narrative of growth. The choice of narrative profoundly alters the experience. Understanding this direct link between your inner world and outer experiences empowers you to become a conscious co-creator of your life, actively refining your internal stories to manifest a reality that aligns with your deepest aspirations. Imagine your brain as a vast forest with many paths. Some paths are well-worn, representing your habitual negative thoughts, easy to traverse. Others are overgrown, representing the positive thoughts you rarely entertain. By consciously and consistently choosing to walk the new, positive paths, you gradually clear them, making them easier and more natural to follow. This requires patience and persistence. When you catch yourself in a negative loop, instead of despairing, see it as an opportunity. Acknowledge the old thought, then gently but firmly pivot to an alternative, more empowering thought. For instance, if the thought, "I'm not good enough," arises, consciously replace it with, "I am always learning and growing," or "I am worthy of good things." Repeat this new thought, not just once, but multiple times throughout the day, especially when the old pattern tries to reassert itself. This isn't about suppression. It's about redirection and cultivation. It's like tending a garden, diligently removing weeds and planting nourishing seeds. Over time, these new thought seeds will take root, grow, and eventually overshadow the old patterns. This practice requires discipline and self-compassion. There will be days when the old thoughts feel overwhelming. Simply return to the practice. Every conscious repetition of a positive thought is a brick laid in the foundation of a new, more expansive self. It's a profound act of self-care and self-creation, leveraging the very mechanism that once held you back to propel you forward into a more fulfilling experience of life. Lesson 6. Realize your inner narrative actively shapes your external reality. The stories you tell yourself, the pervasive inner narrative, are not confined to the silent chambers of your mind. Lesson 7. Challenge old, disempowering beliefs by telling new stories. To truly transform your reality, it's not enough to simply try and ignore old, disempowering beliefs. You must actively challenge them by consciously crafting and consistently telling yourself new, empowering stories. These old beliefs are often deeply ingrained, formed from childhood experiences, societal conditioning, or past disappointments. It moves beyond merely challenging negative thoughts to proactively designing your internal dialogue. Begin by clearly envisioning the person you aspire to be and the experiences you wish to manifest. What qualities does your desired self possess? How do they speak to themselves? What beliefs do they hold about their capabilities and their place in the world? Once you have this vision, consciously craft your self-talk to reflect it. If your desired self is confident and calm, then your self-talk should embody confidence and calmness. Instead of saying, "I'm so stressed," you might practice saying, "I am centered and capable of handling this." If you desire to achieve a specific outcome, such as starting a new venture, your self-talk should support that goal, focusing on your skills, resilience, and capacity for learning, rather than potential obstacles. This isn't about being unrealistic or ignoring challenges, but about adopting a supportive, encouraging inner voice that propels you forward. Treat your inner voice as you would a wise and loving mentor. What advice would they give you? What affirmations would they offer? This practice is particularly potent in moments of difficulty or doubt. When faced with a challenge, instead of succumbing to a disempowering internal monologue, consciously shift to dialogue that reinforces your strength, your resourcefulness, and your inherent capacity to adapt and overcome. This consistent alignment between your self-talk and your aspirations helps to bridge the gap between your current reality and your desired future. It programs your subconscious mind to work in your favor, seeking out opportunities and guiding your actions in ways that are congruent with your highest self. It is a continuous, gentle, yet incredibly powerful process of self-creation and manifestation. They operate like hidden programs, running in the background and influencing your every decision and reaction. The first step in challenging them is to identify them. What are those limiting beliefs that hold you back? Perhaps it's, "I'm not smart enough to pursue that dream," or "I'll never find true happiness." Once identified, acknowledge their presence without judgment. They were once survival mechanisms or interpretations that served a purpose. Now, they are simply outdated. The next crucial step is to consciously formulate a new counter-narrative. If the old story is "I always fail," the new story might be "Every experience is a learning opportunity, and I possess the resilience to keep growing." Begin to articulate this new story to yourself, silently in your mind, or even out loud. It's like gently but firmly telling your brain a new truth. Look for evidence in your life that supports this new narrative, even small pieces. Did you learn something from a past setback? Did you persevere through a difficult moment? Celebrate these instances as proof that your new story holds validity. This isn't about denial. It's about re-evaluation. It is about questioning the truth of the old belief and actively seeking out alternative perspectives. When the old thought pattern arises, rather than accepting it, consciously interrupt it with your new chosen story. This continuous act of challenging and replacing is how you dismantle the old mental architecture and build a new, stronger foundation for your life. This liberation from past conditioning opens up new avenues for growth and possibility. Lesson 8. Cultivate self-talk aligned with your desired self and outcomes. Cultivating self-talk aligned with your desired self and outcomes is a powerful, active practice for shaping your future. Lesson 9. Take full responsibility for the mental data you input daily. This path of awakening calls for a profound level of self-responsibility, particularly regarding the mental data you input into your mind daily. Just as you are mindful of the food you eat and the information you consume from external sources, you must become equally discerning about the internal nourishment you provide your consciousness. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you dwell upon, every interpretation you make of events, these are all data points that shape your internal operating system. If you believe you are limited, unworthy, or incapable, your potential will remain largely untapped, constrained by the invisible mental walls you have erected. These beliefs act as self-fulfilling prophecies, creating a reality that mirrors your internal convictions. You will unconsciously seek out evidence to confirm these limitations, avoid opportunities that challenge them, and interpret setbacks as proof of your inadequacy. However, if you cultivate deep, unwavering beliefs in your inherent capacity for growth, resilience, learning, and contribution, your potential expands exponentially. When you genuinely believe in your ability to overcome obstacles, to learn new skills, to adapt to change, and to make a meaningful difference, you naturally step into challenges with courage and an open mind. You become more resourceful, persistent, and creative in pursuing your aspirations. This is not about arrogant self-importance, but about recognizing the vast, untainted wellspring of capacity that lies within every human being. The teachings of ancient wisdom emphasize that true liberation comes from understanding the illusory nature of self-imposed limitations. Your true nature is limitless, peaceful, and capable of profound wisdom. When your consistent beliefs align with this deeper truth, you begin to access that innate potential. It allows you to move beyond perceived failures, to embrace continuous learning, and to contribute your unique gifts to the world without the burden of self-doubt. This journey of conscious belief shaping is the ultimate path to unlocking your highest self, revealing a life of deeper purpose, greater joy, and limitless possibilities. Taking full responsibility means acknowledging that you are not merely a passive recipient of thoughts that randomly appear. While thoughts may arise unbidden, your decision to engage with them, to dwell on them, or to let them pass is entirely within your power. It means recognizing that you are the gatekeeper of your mind, and you have the authority to choose what gains entry and what is gently released. This responsibility extends to consciously filtering external inputs too. The news, social media, conversations with others, these all contribute to the mental data stream. Being responsible means choosing to limit exposure to negativity, toxic influences, and information that triggers fear or despair, especially if it doesn't serve a constructive purpose. It means actively seeking out inspiration, wisdom, and uplifting content. Furthermore, it means taking ownership of your reactions. When difficult situations arise, you can choose to respond with anger, frustration, or fear, or you can choose to respond with calm, compassion, and a focus on solutions. This choice is part of your daily data input. This practice of conscious input is not about blaming yourself for past patterns, but about empowering yourself in the present moment. It's an ongoing commitment to curate a healthy, vibrant inner environment. By accepting full responsibility for the quality of your mental input, you become the conscious architect of your inner world, ensuring that every thought, every feeling, and every impression contributes to your growth, well-being, and capacity for a fulfilling life. Lesson 10. Your potential is directly linked to what you consistently believe. Ultimately, the boundless potential residing within you is not a fixed quantity. It is directly and profoundly linked to what you consistently believe about yourself and the world.